I'm going to share one of the projects from this month's Stamps in the Mail Club. And so I've got my project packet ready here. The card I'm going to show you is the pistachio pudding background card, and this one has a bunch of little embellishments, so watch the pieces in your packet. If you haven't subscribed to Stamps in the Mail Club before, you can get more information from my website, and I'm happy to have new subscribers all the time, so come see what the fuss is about. The card we're making is a little bit narrower than a regular card size, just about 3/4 of an inch. And so the thing that allows us to do is have a banner that sticks out past and then still fits in a regular size quarter sheet envelope. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to cut a banner end with my scissors on the crisp cantaloupe cardstock, and I'm going to do that by just cutting a little snip right in the center and then cutting from each corner to the top of that cut. That way I get an even banner every time. So that's a great trick for you to keep in mind. And then I'm going to take a piece of the stretch trim here that matches the crisp cantaloupe, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this with green lead glue. I love green lead glue for doing this kind of attaching. It is super strong. It doesn't grab instantly, so you'll want to give it a little bit of an extra second to grab, but I'm actually going to do this from the front side so that I can see how much of my ruffle trim is peeking out from the bottom. So I have that exactly where I want it to be. Then I'm going to go ahead and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and put some snail adhesive on the back of my trim here. The green lead glue is great, but it will show through your ribbon sometimes because it's liquid and it likes to seep through. And so for something like this, I'm going to go ahead and just use my snail adhesive, which is great for ribbon. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just trim right along our cardstock so that I have our neat banner already done. So super spiffy and quick. I'm going to go ahead and take this and attach it with some snail adhesive. And you want to keep your snail adhesive on this part of the banner so that it doesn't overlap and be sticky on the outside of your card. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for a couple minutes while we do our stamping. The stamp set we're using for Stamps in the Mail Club this month is the 2-kind stamp set. And when you order Stamps in the Mail Club, you get the stamps and the markers. Everything you need comes in the package. So all you need to add is scissors and adhesive and you're set to go and make all these projects. Alright, so this is a 2-step stamp set, which means that there's a top image and a bottom image, and the 2 images go together to make a layered design. See how this works here? So I'm going to go ahead and take my stamp here and go ahead and mount it on my block. So I'll kind of hold that for and then you can use your markers or you can use your stamps. So I'll go ahead and show you this with my markers, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I think we're going to do our stems first so that we can arrange things on our project. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my Old Olive marker, and I'm going to use the pre-punched circle that comes with the Stamps in the Mail Club kit. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that like that. So now we have our stem, and it's off to the bottom of our design. And then I'm going to use the Sending Good Thoughts Your Way image, or Sending Good Thoughts Your Way stamp. And so I'm going to ink this one too. When you're inking words with your markers, you want to just kind of keep an eye on it to make sure you're not getting them too goopy. The markers are really, really nice and juicy, the Stampin' Right markers. They're super high quality. And so if you aren't careful, sometimes you can get so much on there that it kind of goops up your words. So you want to position this, and I'm going to move it down here just a little bit so that we can stamp a flower here and a flower here. Okay, and this yellow flower down here, my little one, is going to be a little bit off the edge so that our words don't get completely covered up. So let me ink this guy here. So this is our bigger one, and I'm just going to put it on there. Now, one of the great things about two-step stamp sets is that oftentimes they're designed so that they don't have to match exactly. There's not really a wrong way to line them up. And if you've watched my videos or you've stamped with me before, you know that I am all about the quick and easy stamping. So I have pumpkin pie now, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on top. And there you go. You can see that it doesn't really matter as long as you get it close on there, then you have a great image. Now I'm using the two smaller stamps here for the smaller flower, and I'll go ahead and mount this one. So I'm going to ink this one up with Daffodil Delight again. And if you already have a marker color that's included, or a stamp set even, in Stamps in the Mail Club, you can always swap it for a different color or a different item of your choice. So that's no problem. I have people swapping all the time. And then I'm going to go back with pumpkin pie and ink up the second stamp layer here. And go ahead and stamp that guy in the corner. Okay, and you can see I got it even a little bit, you see, a little bit below where the yellow is, but the flower shape really lends itself to that. So you don't honestly have to be so perfectly picky, which works for me. Alright, so then I'm going to put some Poppy Uppies on the back, otherwise known as Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to take my button, and these are the vintage faceted buttons, and so you get one included with your Stamps in the Mail Club kit. And I'm going to go ahead and string some baker's twine through because, gasp, you don't want your buttons to be naked. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this into a bow. Okay, and it just sort of dangles, and then you can, once you got your bow tied, you can move it around. And then I'm going to cut off the end of my ribbon where I licked it. You don't need to send your extra DNA along necessarily. I'm going to put some snail adhesive here on the back of my heart and put this punched heart down. One of the cool things about Stamps in the Mail is that everything is pre-punched and pre-big shot, and so you actually get to try out a lot of different things. So, alright, so I'm going to put some green lid glue here on the back, and you could use a mini glue dot for this too, whatever you happen to have handy and on hand. And like I said, it doesn't grab right away, so give it 30 seconds to kind of set down. And there is our first finished card for the August of 2013 Stamps in the Mail Club kit.